You're listening to Silk, the podcast dedicated to celebrating queer joy through pop culture, the gay agenda, and cutting up. It's like therapy, but cunt. Oh my god, I want to go to Prince Edward Isle so bad. I love it. Have you
What
watched
is
Anne with an E
it?
on Have you watched Anne with an E on Netflix?
No, I haven't. I've actually heard it's really good, but I just haven't
It's
gotten into it.
so good. I love Anne with an E, and they're on Prince Edward Isle, and there's gays in it, and there's a lesbian aunt. It's so good. I was part of the movement to have Netflix revive Anne of Green Gables. I was on the front lines tweeting, hashtagging, trying to drum up support for that little redheaded girl in Canada because she deserved it. She earned it.
And just like that, we're back.
We're back. Hello, everyone.
Hi,
Welcome back to Silk.
everybody. Hello. I'm Cyntisha.
And I'm Cody. First, I want to know, like we always do, Cyntisha, how did you sleep last night?
I slept so good. Probably the best I have in a really long time. It was my birthday. Woo!
Are you going to tell everyone how old you are, or is that a secret? Or do you care?
No, I don't
know.
care. I
know.
34 going on
Yes.
27.
As is your right.
So my birthday was on Monday, and it was so amazing. I mean, I was truly just so showered, and like when I'm so fortunate that I have this feeling, and I know you do too, because we're the dolls. When it's like you're so overwhelmed by love and just like being bombarded with just love and adoration, and I'm in words of affirmation girly, so it just means so much to me. And I had a photo shoot for a new television project that I am working on. I know, so
That's
exciting.
So cool. Yeah.
And one of the producers and creators was like, do you care if we do it on your birthday? And I'm like, a photo shoot on my birthday? That's exactly what I want.
Do I care? Like, thank you.
Exactly. That's exactly what I want, to be in full glam, taking pictures. And it was so cute. And at one point, my friend called me into the room and was like, Tish, I think you left some stuff in here. I go in there. I'm like, bitch, none of this shit is mine. Like, none of this is mine. You know that.
Yeah.
I come out of the room and everyone has signs with my face on it. And they're singing Happy Birthday, Stevie Wonder edition. And
that's so cute.
It was just the sweetest, kindest, like a full cake. And they had Costco birthday cake. Okay.
That's the good stuff. That shit's good. Costco slaps.
That's the good. Yeah. Costco slaps. Costco is that good. Okay. Yeah. And it was just so perfect. It was great. And we just had such a good day all around, played some games afterwards, and just surrounded by like some of my favorite people in life. And I just love my chosen family. Shout out to anyone and everyone who wished me well wishes and love. I really appreciate it. So I slept like a little loved, swaddled bebe.
Bebe. Something that I didn't know about you is that you had mentioned wanting to go to a cabin for your birthday. And that is something that we're going to have to manifest for you because, one, you've never been to like a cabin vacay weekend trip, which is a crime. Right. Everyone should be at that. And
a true crime.
You need to go.
Okay.
Yeah.
We need to get David Murr in 2020 on the scene. Why has Cyntisha Cody not been to a cabin? We need frontline reporting on this.
Yeah. Airbnb, Verbo, Flipkey, reach out. We want to collab. We're ready to start collaborating with brands, and you could be the first one to send Cyntisha to a cabin.
You could be the first one, but you playing.
What's the holdup? No, but honestly, though, I think for Silk and this recording and your birthday and like a year from now, or like just in the future in general, because it's also my partner's birthday weekend, the same weekend as your birthday.
Yeah, Scorpio gang.
we're going to be turning up on a late November or mid-November weekend sometime in the future at a cabin. I foresee it for sure, because we can
Yes.
manifest it. If we can manifest live in
Yes.
London, we can manifest live at a cabin or something. I don't know.
1,000%. We're manifesting it. We're manifesting it. Yeah,
absolutely.
it was so great. It was so cozy and wonderful, and
Good.
yeah, feeling so good. But how did
Good.
you sleep, Angel?
Yeah, I slept really well because we spent the weekend also celebrating a birthday for my partner. We went out with some of our friends to the bars in Pittsburgh. We went out with my parents and we went out with his parents. So it was like thing after thing after thing. It was very cute, very fun.
Club,
Bus.
another club.
Another club. Another club. Another bus. I looked into renting a party bus. That shit's expensive.
Yes, I've done it once in my life. And it wasn't even like a full like housewives bus. This man, DJ, I don't even remember his name. He was a DJ. This man had a school bus that he turned into a party bus. And we took the school bus all around Lakewood, Ohio for my 24th birthday.
Oh, yeah. I've been around that area. That's crazy.
On a school bus, okay?
On a school bus. Oh my God. You gotta do what you gotta do. You gotta get the girls to the gigs. A bus is a bus.
You gotta get the girls to the gig. A bus is a bus. We go hop in.
Get in. I love the school bus, how it opens like you have to do like the big crank handle. That's really kind of cunt.
It's so cut. And my only request, like, I'm gonna need you to wear a Miss Frizzle wig so we can supply that. But I want the full school bus experience. You feel me?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Magic School Bus down. Serving.
Yes. Yes. We going to space tonight, baby.
Absolutely. Oh gosh. Well, I'm really glad that we both had good birthday weekends. And I'm excited to dive into another episode of our pod. So you want to get into it?
Let's get into it. Let's get into it. Speaking of being loved and serving cunt on a bus, who is serving this week for you, Cody, baby?
You know, it took a while for me to think of who I wanted to talk about this week for who's serving. There's a lot going on in media, a lot of cool new songs coming out, a lot of cool new trailers dropping now that the strike is over. But I want to take it back for a second and talk about one of the most discussed demographics of individuals that I can think of, and that would be straight men. And I know, straight men on this podcast, who would have thought? But let's discuss, because I have some thoughts.
And we may have lost a large percentage of listeners, but hold on.
They just clicked off. No, there's a twist. Don't worry. We're gonna make this concept better. You're gonna like it. But no, I've been thinking a lot about straight men who are good sports. So this was kind of, I started thinking about the Troye Sivan song, One of Your Girls. It's a bop and a beautiful music video where Troye does full drag. And while Troye is doing drag, he is, I know, first, good. But while he's in full drag as this drag persona, Troye is dancing and grinding on top of teen Disney heartthrob, noted straight man, Ross Lynch. And I love that. I love a man who is a straight man who is willing to be a little goofy, be a little silly, be a little gay and fun and flirty, and just have a good time and be in a music video that he probably would never have thought in his life that he would be in. Did you see it?
Oh, did I see it? I'm like 30, if not 40% of the views. Okay. Troye Sivan, one of the girls, was a cultural reset, especially for my bi babies out there. Troye Sivan. I don't know if the drag persona has a name, but oh my God, she had us shook to the core. She was on our necks. We could not breathe. And not only is she so fucking sexy and hot
Yeah.
and cute and all the things, then you have Ross Lynch. And let
Oh
me
my
say this
God.
about Ross Lynch. I was a little older for his time at Disney. I don't
Yeah.
know what was it? Summer Beach Camp? What?
He was in Teen Beach Movie and he was in the show
Teen
Austin
Beach
and
movie.
Ally. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that was past my
Sure.
Disney Channel time, but I did watch him on Sabrina as Harvey
Yes.
Kent.
So good. Harvey Kinkle.
So, so, oh, so,
Harvey Kent. Batman.
Batman.
Not
I
Batman.
did remember him as Two-Face with Christian Bale, and he ate the house down. No,
Oh Lord.
no, but I
Ross Lynch is
remember
Harvey
him as
Kent.
no, but I remember him as Harvey Kinkle on
Yeah.
Sabrina, and he was so good. Also, he dated Jazz Sinclair, so I know that he likes
Yeah.
chocolates, and he
Mm-hmm.
is so fucking hot. And just
Yeah.
seeing him all oiled up, looking good,
Yeah.
abs out, and then Troy
Yeah.
serving,
Mm-hmm.
it is a moment in
Yeah.
time. And Ross is such a good sport with
Yeah.
being okay with just being kind of like an object, right? Like literally
Yeah.
just an extension of a chair and just being ridden on by this little
Yes.
twink
Yes.
surfing
In full glam.
in full glam. And that's if that's not the definition of a
Yeah.
straight ally, I don't know what is.
Right. And this is like almost like the better version of like when straight men queer bait. Like this isn't him queer baiting. He's not engaging with a community in a way that he's like trying to take something from us. He's showing up
Mhm.
in a music video by a gay artist and he's there and he's participating in a way that is super supportive and like just makes everything better. It's so cool to see straight men just doing something fun. Like, have fun, boys. You can have fun literally once, at least, as a treat.
I mean,
Don't forget
right.
that.
And
Have
also, like,
fun.
just because you interact with gay men does not make you gay. Like, cannot stress
No.
that enough. There's so much,
Yeah.
like, internalized homophobia in
Yeah.
the discourse, and especially in men. Like, girl,
Hmm.
just because you're hanging out with the girls does not mean that you are one.
Right.
You
And
know,
gay
and
people are more
if
fun.
you're fighting
Yeah.
it that hard, then you probably are. I always feel like that. If you're like, no, I'm not gay. 99% of the people who acted like that in high school, gay as fuck now.
Yeah. We
Okay.
know. Yeah. It's true. And he's like the big example in pop culture. But for me, I also have a really cool personal example. When I was in college, I lived with three other guys for like 3 or 4 years, and they are all straight. Most of them are married, and we've continued to be great friends since graduating college. And when I lived with them, I wasn't out. Now, obviously, I'm out, and they have just been like the most fun, supportive and kind, obviously, which I didn't expect them not to be. I expected them to be supportive and kind because they're good people, but
Hmm.
they are like genuinely like down to clown, you know what I mean, and like engage with gayness and my gayness and the culture, and like I fully want them to do that. I love that they feel comfortable enough around me to make jokes that I'm making and participate in jokes and cut up about it. It's so cool having a group of straight friends who is just like so fully on board. They actually were at my partner Mike's birthday party and went to the gay bar with us after dinner with their
Oh,
wives. And it was
really?
just like, yeah, it was just like so sweet
That's
and
so
fun and
cute.
nice, and they really like him and they've taken time to get to know him, and um it's been really cool. So I think that's probably, obviously Ross in the music video is kind of the pop culture example, but that's kind of been on my mind the last couple of weeks. Just like I'm really lucky to have straight guy friends. And are they listening to Silk? They said they might be. It's pretty gay, but I'm sure they'll appreciate the shout out. So like, I love it. I love a straight guy who can be cool whenever I slip in a like, hey girl to him. You know what I mean? And like, you know what I mean? Just go with the flow. It's all
Oh,
fun.
yes.
It's not that
Yes.
serious. It's not deep. It's cool.
Yeah. And I'm someone I call everyone girl, bitch,
Yeah.
lover, angel.
Love,
Like,
babe.
babes, babe.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's just who I am. And if I say girl, like, I call my dad girl. I'll be like, girl,
Yeah.
what?
Yeah.
Like,
Right.
it's just
Right.
something. And I appreciate straight men who just take it with a grain of salt and cut up. Like, if you know a few, like, I have a few in my life too who are rare examples of just being like such great straight men and
Yeah.
fathers. Like, they exist and just acting normal, and it's not a big deal, and treating people with respect. Like,
Mm-hmm.
just because you are the way you are, I still love you for that. And I'm not going to try to change you or act as if it affects me, because it does not whatsoever.
No.
Like,
Yeah.
your sexual orientation has nothing to do with our friendship. Like, I'm
Yeah.
going to love you regardless,
Yeah.
and they're the best. Ross
Yeah.
Lynch, you're one of them. And I,
Thank you,
even
Ross.
a queer baiter like a Nick Jonas, it's like, we see you, girl. We all
We
thought he
see
was gonna
you.
come out before Priyanka. We were all a little bit like, is it?
Right?
Is it?
It
I
could still
don't
happen. It could
know.
still happen. Who knows?
It could still
Yeah.
happen. Hugh Jackman. I'm sorry. I'm gonna say it.
He's
I'm gonna
coming
say
out.
it. That is one where I've
Two.
been like, I don't know if you're a little. I don't know.
Yeah.
Because you can be a straight man who does musical theater, who is
Sure.
jacked, who
Yeah.
has, all these amazing capabilities, can dance, but
Yeah.
also sometimes it does
Look at the material.
raise questions. If you're a little fruity but you're straight, slay the
Okay.
house
Yeah.
down. You
Work.
go pound the pussy, and
Mm-hmm.
you do that, and you'll probably get more because you're more
Yeah.
feminine, you know what I mean, versus someone who
Yeah.
is extremely straight hetero, who's like
Mm-hmm.
having sex with women, crying himself to sleep, because you want to be
That
out with the
part.
dolls. You want to be that go-go
Yeah.
dancer on the bar. You want to have the 20s
Yeah.
in your panties, but you
You
don't.
do. And you could. And that's the sad thing.
And you
Is they
could just
could.
own it.
Yeah.
Just own
Just come
it.
on out.
Just come on out, girl. It's
Just come on out.
2023.
Yeah.
Soon to be
Yeah.
2024. It's like no one cares.
So it's interesting. I just think straight men are often the worst, but sometimes they're not too. And we always have to remember that. And
They are the worst, but not all of them are terrible.
are all exactly. And we celebrate that.
We celebrate that.
Just own it.
Speaking of owning it,
Yeah.
I know you're about to own this next segment, Cody. Baby S, what pop culture do you wish you had that would have made being a little baby queer just a little bit easier on you? What do you think, Cody?
For this week, I want to talk about Christmas movies. More specifically, queer, inclusive Christmas movies that tell like real stories, that tell silly stories, that tell heartfelt stories, sometimes that tell corny ass stories. I want queer Christmas movies that run the whole gambit. I want prestige Christmas movies. I want trashy Christmas movies. I want it all. We just decorated for Christmas yesterday, and while we were decorating,
Aw.
we had it was cute. We love decorating for sure. But we had the Netflix Christmas movie Single All the Way. It's like, I think it was one of the first gay Netflix Christmas movies a couple years ago. And it's just like such like a cheesy rom-com with Jennifer Coolidge is in it. Bunch of gays. It's just
Yes.
fun, silly, kind of throwaway. But I just think it's so cool where we're at right now as pop culture and media. I was almost overwhelmed by the feeling that I'm behind on the queer Christmas movies. Like, I don't think I've seen them all now because Hallmark has queer Christmas movies. Netflix,
Mm-hmm.
Hulu. My favorite of all time is Happiest Season with Kristen Stewart. Like, there are
Mm-hmm.
so many options for different types of queer people, different types of movies. What's your favorite queer Christmas movie, or have you seen any, or like what's your engagement with the content?
Girl, have I seen any? Yes. I love
Yes.
I love Christmas movies, and it's so cozy to me. I love a Christmas
Yeah.
rom-com, like a holiday rom-com.
Mm.
It's not queer, but the
Hmm.
holiday is like it for me. That's like a
Yeah.
staple every year. I feel sad that you haven't experienced a lot of queer movies because I feel like I did have some growing up. There was a great movie called Holiday Heart that I loved growing up with Ving Rhames
What was
and
that?
Alfre Woodard. Ving Rhames plays a drag queen who loses his partner, and then he meets this little girl, and her mom is a drug addict, and he like moves in with them and like helps them, and it's super cozy and sad and real,
This is a Christmas
and
movie?
it's yeah, Holiday Hearts.
No one told me.
Yeah, I mean it is definitely geared towards black people,
Okay.
but
Sure.
I think it's like just a staple. I saw that, I think that came out like in the late 90s, so I saw that at a pretty young
No.
age, and then when I started doing musical theater and I discovered Rent.
Sure.
Bitch, let me tell you,
Sure.
Rent was a game changer for me in high school. Obviously, just that movie about AIDS and HIV, the epidemic during the
Hmm.
90s. I remember like driving around in my best friend Emily's mom's minivan and blasting that, like
That's
blasting that,
awesome.
and her mom was so down, like she was singing with us. She's the best, and
Aw.
that was definitely like a huge part of like growing up for me, like teenage years for sure. But
That's
I mean
cool.
now, like you said, now so many platforms like Hallmark, which is like publicly
Crazy.
conservative,
Right.
crazy. You know, the
Yeah.
gays said enough is enough. We want our content too.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
You're making cards for us. Now make the pictures for us, baby. We want the
Yeah.
movies.
And not to bring up old drama, but our first enemy of the pod, Candace Cameron Bure, infamously left the Hallmark Channel because of our representation on there. And to that I say, good riddance. Bye, bitch. Let the
Bye,
door hit you on the
bitch.
way out. I mean, for me growing up, I just did not have any queer representation in my household. Like even Rent, I didn't watch Rent as a kid. I didn't even know about what the plot was until I was like in college. You know what I mean? Like it was just not part
Wow.
of, yeah, like that was not something that was introduced to me growing up in like evangelical Christian country area in Pennsylvania. So yeah, I think it's awesome that the ease of access to queer centered Christmas movies is just so much more prevalent. And there are Christmas movies that are now just so multifaceted. And it's just like nice to see that we're at the point where things aren't becoming like we have to make the gay Christmas movie and it has to be exactly this, this, and this. Like it can look like
Mm-hmm.
anything. It just has to
Right.
be a movie with queer people in it living their life. I would love to see um, that continued expansion of that. And I would also love to see the straight community engage more with, and I know they do, like a lot of my straight friends love Happiest Season with Kristen Stewart, like we were talking about, but I would also love to see those stories go from being still kind of like, oh, like that movie's for gay people or like that movie's for queer people. Like I want
Mm-hmm.
everyone to listen to our stories and hear about them because I think it's important. That's how people grow and that's how people learn. So if you're a straight person listening to this podcast and you are going home for the holidays, maybe instead of watching Home Alone 2 for the third or fourth time, pop on Single All the Way with your family and like make them watch it, even if there's not a gay person there, because that just helps move the needle forward little by little, those kind of personal sharing moments. So yeah,
1,000%.
Merry
And it doesn't
Christmas.
even have to be Merry Christmas. It doesn't
Merry
even have to
Christmas.
be it doesn't even have to be something that's a queer movie or a gay movie. It could be
Yeah.
something like The Family Stone is a perfect example of that, of having a major character be queer, but that's not the entire part of the movie.
I'm going to share that I don't know anything about that movie either.
I mean, that's not that old.
Girl, I don't know. They had me not watching much. They had me watching Veggie Tales. They had me watching Power
2005.
Rangers. Everyone has their blind spots, but I have a lot of, I don't know, blind spots that I've discovered as like an older adult. Like I'm like, oh yeah, I've heard of that movie, but I absolutely have no idea what it's about. I didn't even know Will and Grace was about gay people until my boyfriend told me and we watched it. I didn't know Will and Grace was about gay people. I thought it was
What?
just an old sitcom. I know. We didn't even talk about a show like that in my household. I didn't even know it existed.
But that was just part of the like.
We weren't talking, listening to Faith Hill. That's it, and going to church. Like I don't know what. Yeah.
You didn't see a TV guide or anything. You didn't watch like Entertainment Tonight or anything. Like that was a big show that
Maybe a
came on
little
after
bit.
Friends. Like that was
I
prime
know.
time at
I
must see.
know.
There was the point in time where must see TV. That was a part of it. That's so crazy to me.
Yeah, I literally my partner was like, we should watch Will and Grace together. And I was like, why would we watch that? And he was like, well, it's about gay people. And I was like, what? Are you kidding me? So we
So you
watched it,
just
loved
found out
it.
recently?
Right? Yeah, this was like 7 years ago. I was fully
Wow.
25. Yeah. And I
Damn.
tell you, the blind spots be blind. I can't see.
Girl, the
I
blind
couldn't.
spots are Ray Charles, honey. What the hell?
Yeah, I
Oh my
know.
God,
I'm
that's
I'm
wild
kind of
to
having a
me.
moment. I'm having a moment right now where I'm like,
Oh
oh
my God, we're
damn,
having an epiphany on the pod, y'all. Holy shit.
not the Epiphany, not
Not an
her.
epiphany on the pod. Someone call Miss Frizzle. We gotta go.
Get the
We got
bus.
to go.
Get the girls in the bus.
Get the girls on the bus, Miss Frizzle. Please. Take time travel us back to when
Ah,
Will and Grace started so Cody can see it.
yes, please. That would have been big for me, probably.
Yeah, no
Huh.
shit. Oh my God.
Yeah. Well, it just is good that things are the ease of access that the internet and streaming and just like phones even have like provided people. Like I couldn't Google something when I was 7, you know what I mean? But now
Right.
kids can Google shows that they want to watch, or they can just boot up Netflix and watch a gay themed TV show that's for kids. Like that's sick. I celebrate that.
It's just nice that the younger generation has representation. Like someone looks like me, someone sounds like me, someone
Yeah.
loves like me. They have that
Hmm.
so accessible to them. That's beautiful.
And also don't donate to Salvation Army because they don't like gay people for Christmas. Sorry.
Oh yeah. No, no. If you don't support the
Don't do it.
dolls, you're not getting any of my money. Period. I'm gonna ring the bell like on Game of Thrones. Shame, shame, shame.
Outside of your local Walmart, just accosting a woman with a Karen
I'll be
Bob.
looking at her. You should know better, Susan. God damn it.
Oh Lord. Yeah. I love Christmas.
I do too. It's so cozy. It's the coziest time.
So cozy.
So if you're not supporting the dolls, that's a big R-nar. And speaking of R-nars, we're gonna head into our last segment. R-nar, go away. Cody, what is making your skin crawl this week?
I want to talk a little bit now about undercover gay men trying their best to assimilate into straight culture on the down
Oh,
low. Specifically, I want to talk about the politicians who are doing this.
mm.
It's complicated because I came out in my mid 20s, later than some, not all, but I have a lot of empathy towards people who are still in the closet. That is not the issue
Sure.
for me. My
Mm-hmm.
issue is people who are in the closet and then are actively coming for the gays, the girls, the dolls, people who are legislating against us but are sucking dick and cock on the side. Like, come on now. That's so fucked. It honestly makes me like sick to think about how there are people who could hate themselves so much that they would legislate against the community that they potentially belong to.
It's disgusting. It's so gross.
Yeah.
Just the fact that you could pretend to be, like you said, coming out is hard. Like, that's
Yeah.
everyone's journey is valid. Take whatever time you need to sit there and play in my face and approve all this legislation that is not for us. In fucking what's his name, Aaron Schock,
Remember
call him
Aaron
Aaron
Schock?
Cock because he's sucking dick and cock. Yeah, right.
That man is dark. The fact that he was he was a Republican, he was so anti-gay, and then he just came out as a pass around party bottom. And honestly,
Girl, a power
we
bottom.
we celebrate them on this pod, no shaming at all. But
Oh
again,
no, I stand.
but to be like to like come out, he became like an insta gay. I remember like people that I was mutuals with on Instagram. Aaron Schock was in their pictures in a Speedo. First off, why
Yeah.
did you let him in the pool? Why did you let him in? He should be in gay timeout at the very least. Like there was no forgiveness asked for. There was no time spent, feeling bad. He just went from closeted gay Republican legislating against the community to homosexual at a tea party. Like the next day. Come on, take some accountability. Like I'm glad that
Right.
you are feeling like yourself now, but accountability is important, Aaron.
Yeah, hopefully you like learned from that. I know I did read
Yeah.
something when he did come out like I grew up in a conservative home. This wasn't something that was talked about. The state
Yeah.
that I was in, being a congressman, like I felt like I had to do all that. Okay,
Yeah.
no.
Yeah.
I'm going to stop you
It's
right
like
there because when do you
yeah.
say morally this is so corrupt? Like, this is
Yeah.
against everything I believe in, who I am, my character. When do you draw the
Yeah.
line? And that's what I don't like. Like, sure, take your
Yeah.
time in coming out. That's your journey. But don't sit here and take away rights from the community because you're too scared or because you want some power or because you want to check. That's fucked up. But
Yeah.
that at the end of the day, that's what they want. Just like what's his name? George Santos. Ugh,
George Santos.
ugh.
Yeah. When's he gonna come out?
Wait,
What?
you know he girl,
What?
he's gay. George
I mean, I know
Santos is out.
he's out.
He's out, baby.
Oh, I thought George was undercover still. He's
No,
not.
baby.
He's out.
George Santos is fully out and gay.
Oh, I thought he was just like fully running around town in the closet, but like everyone. Okay, so George
Okay,
is
this
out.
episode is gonna be called Epiphanies for Cody. Like, what is happening?
I I'm not dumb, but sometimes I'm dense. Sometimes I thought it was like everyone knows he's gay, but he's not out. Like Lindsey Graham, for instance. Like I thought it was like a Lindsey.
Okay, sure.
Don't sue.
Okay, I
Like I thought it.
see where you're at, but
Okay,
he's fully out.
so
He's fully out.
this is a different type of problematic gay, which is an out gay who is a Republican who is legislating against us. It's just a different flavor of the problem. Oh
Right.
my
And then
god.
add in with George Santos, a person of color. So
Yeah.
it's
Oh
like,
yeah. What? And he was kind of from Brazil. I honestly have been so like every time I read about it, I'm like, this is crazy. Like, I love the idea of scamming. Like, I love a scammer. You know what I mean? Like, scamming's fun, but what he has going on is
Not
twisted.
scamming fun.
Scamming is fun. A little scamming, no, a little
Scamming is
light
fun.
scamming for good. And George is not scamming for
Scamming for
good.
good.
He's scamming.
No, he's selfishly
He's
scamming, which is fucked up. If you're gonna
yeah,
do like
that's
a
fucked up.
Robin Hood scamming, that's a slay. If
Work.
you're trying to
Yeah.
spread that out equally, some
Mm-hmm.
equity, that's a slay. But if you're just doing it to go to Sephora, like what was his shopping list? It was like Sephora, fucking house stuff. Like, girl, I love that list, but not with fucking
Not
campaign
for
money.
no, not from the Republican donors. But like
No.
also I saw he was like what didn't something come out that he was like subscribed to a bunch of like OnlyFans with campaign money too?
OnlyFans, yes.
Oh my
Yes.
god, that's so crazy. How'd he get away with this? Who is enabling him? I looked at his Wikipedia page just like a couple just to see like what the scams were, and when I tell you it was pages. It wasn't a Wikipedia page, it was a Wikipedia book on George. Was he or was he not the drag queen in Brazil? Who let
Again,
him
this
do
episode
this?
is titled Epiphanies for Cody.
I'm having a lot of light bulb moments.
The
If
Thomas
we
Edison of it all.
The other thing I wanted to talk about with this that is related is gay men who maybe aren't Republicans, but they are like not advocating for the rest of the queer community. That is an R&R for me too, because gay men and gay white men especially, we have the most
Ooh,
privilege and power in the
yeah.
LGBT community. And for us to be out here not advocating for trans people, for other queer people, for lesbians, for bi people, for any, if your understanding of being gay does not include queerness at large and gender identity things, like I don't get that. That like makes my skin crawl that someone could be so fine with being gay and all for that, and then we have the other parts of our community who were just like, okay, bye, like I got my thing, I'm fine, I don't need to do anything for you. Like that's fucked. I hate that.
It's
Ugh. i know
disgusting.
I know so many gays like that who are just like, I got mine, I'm able to get married, I'm not gonna stand up for trans people. Like what the ugh.
It's so
So
vile and it's really so. I mean, you said it. White male gays are, to me, the most problematic out of the whole
yeah,
community because, like you said, it is, I mean, it's basically a cis man, but you're gay. So you have that privilege. You can walk down the street and no one knows unless you're like, work, but diva, work, bitch,
diva.
pop that pussy, bitch. But no,
Yeah,
seriously, like you have that privilege already.
yeah,
So to just take it and run and not do anything for your community, to me, it's for me personally, I feel like it's worse. Like if
yeah.
you're straight and you're ignorant and you don't know, read a book, go outside,
Read a book,
talk to people.
learn.
But if you're fully aware of what's going on in your community and you choose to ignore it, you are the main problem. And it's so entitled, it really drives me crazy. And I feel like they've taken they've just taken the fun out of so much of like not only
Yeah,
going nightlife and just pride and all of that. It's so like people are just going to the gym and getting all ripped. And I have so many friends who are amazing, incredible, but it's like they feel like they have to work out constantly because it's like,
yeah,
oh well, I won't have sex. Like no one will want me because I don't look like that.
yeah,
And just the fact that it's turned into this really toxic, like it's still toxic masculinity but gay. At first when it started happening, I was like, I wonder if this is because you're trying to prove like your straightness, or not even
mhm,
straightness, but like truth your masculinity, like I'm just a man as you are. And now it's turned into like everyone is just like ripped. And if that's okay, I got some hot ass friends who
Yeah,
are
be
fitness
hot.
instructors and fucking
Yeah,
eat down, but they don't
we
make
love
other
them.
people feel like shit because the
Yeah,
way they look. Obviously, they're friends with me and I am a beautiful fat bitch. But
gorgeous.
like, you don't, gorgeous, stunning, perfect. But they don't make that their entire personality. And they try
Yeah.
to help their community and put other people on, and they don't shame people for how they look. And I
Mm.
feel like it's so toxic to
Yeah.
put that stigma in the community. And it's like tainted. Like, if I was the gay man, I'd be like, oh God, what do I do? You know, like, that sucks.
You and I are gonna be on TV in a couple weeks on We Are Family, January 3rd on Fox. And
Low plug.
I was not in the best shape of my life then during taping for that. And I like, I don't know, I'm very like in my head about it. You know what I mean? When I was there, I was on that show, I really felt like pressure because there were a lot of gay guys there that were filming, and I kind of felt this like
Mhm.
unsaid pressure to be like, well, who's the hottest gay guy? You know what I mean? Like that just like feels like a thing in gay culture, and is so toxic and is so ruins the fun for so many people. And like I I don't generally have those kind of issues that I think about, but like things bring it up, you know what I mean? It's in the culture. It's
Sure.
in the
Yeah, it's in the
discourse.
culture.
I
Yeah.
wasn't feeling like that before I came into this group full of other people, and it wasn't even those particular people's fault. It was just like the culture of it all. The other side of it is the internalized homophobia, which is something that I really did have to deal with whenever I made peace that I was attracted to men. It took me a while. I like my first thing was like, yeah, I'll be gay, but like, but I won't be gay. You know what I mean? I won't be.
Mhm.
I'll
Wow.
I'll be doing gay stuff, but I'm not gonna be gay. Like act flamboyant. You won't catch me at Pride. Like all this kind of stuff. Like that's how my brain was trained, and having to unlearn that. And it's, you have to put in work. Like you're not just going to wake up one morning having spent your whole life dealing with feeling bad about being gay and having all this homophobia put on you and internalized. It's not going to just
Mhm.
flip off one day. You have to put in work. You have to put in work
Mhm.
with anything to make yourself a better person, but that
And that's the
includes,
hardest part.
yeah,
That's the hardest part, is doing emotional labor. It's the hardest work. Physical
absolutely.
labor, like, sure, it's hard and it takes
Yeah.
time, but when you have to deal with shit like that, internalized homophobia and toxic masculinity,
Mm,
that is a lot of work. And that's why people don't do it. And that's why our society is fucked up. And it's like, there's room for everyone. There's a seat at the table for everyone. It should be like that. It shouldn't be who's the hottest, who's the smartest, who's this, who's that. Why can't we
yeah.
all just share a space and coexist? But
Yeah.
again,
It's dark-sided, it's twisted, but I think one of the things I really like about this podcast is that obviously I'm a gay man, but you are not a gay man, and I want to take this time in this podcast to learn more about parts of the community that I don't know about. This podcast celebrates queer joy, not gay joy, and that is very deliberate. We are celebrating the entire LGBTQ community at large, and I'm excited
woo,
for more of that in the future because I want to learn more. I want to learn and have fun. We're having fun, we're doing our thing, we're learning about people that are different than us, that are different than people that we've met before. Like, give it all to me, give it all.
give it all to me. We're also learning that Will and Grace was a gay show and that George Santos is out. Crazy
Breaking
epiphanies.
news.
Breaking
Breaking
news.
news.
Will and Grace was
I
about gay
can't.
people. George Santos is apparently I looked it up, the drag queen allegedly. Allegedly.
Allegedly. We have to say that. Lindsey Graham, you're sucking dick and cock allegedly. George
Allegedly.
Santos, you're doing drag in Brazil allegedly. Aaron Schock,
Allegedly.
you are at the circuit parties confirmed. That's not alleged. That's
That's
confirmed.
confirmed. We've
Uh,
seen that.
we've seen
We've
the
seen that.
footage.
Yeah. We've
Roll the
seen the
tape.
footage.
Just
Oh, what a
transition to
great
our segment.
episode. This was a
This
cute little
episode,
episode.
it was a good balance of like heartwarming and like dumb bitch energy for me not knowing things and just like cuteness and birthdays are so fun. Like, yeah,
Birthdays and
this is a good episode.
holidays, cozy time. We are
Mm-hmm.
getting into it, and we're gonna have Miss Frizzle send us off.
Do you think she is one, a member of the LGBT community, and two, willing to come on the pod?
Yes, and obviously, I'll slide
Mm-hmm.
in the DMs because she's definitely on the queer spectrum, and we'll see what
Yes.
happens.
Until next time, I'm Cody. You can follow me on Instagram at CLats.
And I am the one and only Cyntisha, and you can follow me at Struggle Queen with 3 E's because she is a big queen, baby. Thank you guys for listening. We love you.
Yeah, see you next week. Bye.
Bye.